XRP is bucking the trend price-wise while the rest of the market struggles. I'm also going to get to you Brad's latest words regarding XRP Trust. And a whale is buying even more, about 1.1 billion more. No CBDCs in the United States, and great news for Ripple and XRP.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Well, happy Friday, crypto, Web3, and XRP fans. I've got some hot stuff on the screen. That's right. XRP prices in the green, bucking the trend. It's got to do with ETF news. But before we get into that, we get to your comments. Hot, spicy, relevant, naughty. Maybe I'll share it in the next one. Happy freaking Friday. Can't wait till my wife gets home and I give her a whole bottle of wine. 12% alcohol will do the trick. Not a patient person says, so rate cut will occur next week. XRP to drop to 0.001 cents. It's time for me to invest in hamsters, parakeets, and toilet paper. At least they have a purpose in human society, and I can make money from it. We're going to talk about that because the XRP ETF could bring some use here. But again, it's going to come from traditional finance, and it's only going to be about speculation. Harry LaFontaine says ETF means absolutely zero for us. Look at the BTC ETF. I'm convinced nothing news-related will do anything for us. All right, Simon Carradine says Ether ETF done jack shite for the price. In fact, it took about an hour and headed on down. Now, the XRP price is holding its own, as you can see right here up on the screen. And some of you are definitely worried that the ETFs are going to be a big nothing burger. But you talked about what? You talked about rates earlier in the video, and let's get you an update on them. Yes, we're going to get a cut. Now, remember I said, when the news comes out, you're going to see this number change quite heavily. Went from 85% to 51%. So now you've got a 49% chance that you're going to get two. Yes, count it, 2 rate cuts. Bitcoin sitting at 57,792 ETH is 23.49, while BNB is at 5.48. Looking at the screen, and I know XRP is in the red, but it's in the green overall, and it's got to do with the ETF news. XRP at 56.7. We're going to talk price action at the end. Sol ETF says next, and Sol's at 132. Maybe y'all are right that ETFs ain't going to do jack shite for the price. Shout out to the fans across the pond. MicroStrategy buys an additional 18,300 BTC for more than 1 billion. For real, I've said this like how many times now? XRP needs a savior. I mean sailor. They need someone out there, a mega whale that just keeps stacking, stacking, and stacking. And if you don't believe me, guess what? That announcement, their 8K form was filed. I've got it linked in the description down below. But let's get into this. With the latest transaction, the Virginia headquartered company now holds approximately 250,000 BTC at a purchase price of $9.45 billion. If we were to equate that to XRP terms, Sailor would own a third of the XRP supply. That's what I'm saying. Where's the Sailor for XRP? Shares of MicroStrategy rose a little bit with this. Their average, though, and talking about buying the dip and making juicy profits, average price of 38,000 per BTC. So when we look at it, Sailor's looking at almost 20,000 profit for each of those 250,000 BTCs. Jeremy Allaire, who I cannot fucking stand, said, guess what? You're not going to get a US CBDC. Well, he's totally right. Why? Because the Dems, they want it, but the Republicans don't. And right now, Congress isn't working with each other. They're too busy working on your votes. According to Allaire, there is no effort to build a CBDC in the country. He pointed out that neither the public nor Congress supports the idea, and he's talking about Congress as a whole. The Dems would love to get a CBDC and control the ever-living fuck out of our money supply. This is in contrast to other countries like China, which has actively developed it and done a little bit of, what was that, a social score? Mine would be pretty low because I talk about balls and jumblies and Freaky Fridays and sexist Saturdays. These efforts have sparked concerns among digital freedom and privacy advocates. They believe this tech gives governments unlimited control over money. Yes, it does. And controlling your money is controlling the population. That's why we're not going to get it in the United States, because we don't want to be controlled by the government. Now, I got to be honest with you. I'm leaning on this, and I think this is a good thing. Now, remember, I've been the guy that ever since Torres was done with the case, I've been the guy that said, hey, every day that goes on, the odds are less and less that we're going to get an appeal. And now we're looking at it, and we're like ways away. We're like, whoa, baby, we're over a month and no appeal action. Well, now with this ETF launch, does that mean there really is no appeal? Because why would you launch a product knowing that there might be some problems coming up with the appeal? Expert says Grayscale XRP Trust hints at potential settlement of the SEC Ripple lawsuit. There wouldn't be a settlement, it would just be no appeal. Despite Ripple securing a partial victory against the SEC last year, Grayscale refused to reintroduce the XRP Trust. However, the asset manager relaunched the trust week after the New York District Court issued the final verdict. Expectedly, Grayscale's decision surprised many due to the speculation that SEC Ripple could appeal the court's final judgment. They can. But what's happening is people are thinking, well, wait a minute. Maybe they've all been in talks with the SEC and they're like, look, if you're not going to appeal, we want to go ahead with products. And the SEC's like, yeah, we got other fish to fry. I mean, this is pretty interesting here because this is pointing as more time goes on, Gare Bear will not be appealing. We're getting XRP products launched. And now you got Brad Garlinghouse telling us what he thinks about it. Ripple CEO breaks silence on Grayscale XRP Trust, shares key prediction. This landmark move has triggered commentary from CEO Brad G, taken to the X platform. I'm going to share it with you. Garlinghouse said he was pleasantly surprised to see the news. The Ripple CEO attributed this Grayscale XRP Trust to the regulatory clarity around the coin. Let's see what Brad said. Was pleasantly surprised to see this news, though inevitable as well. As I've said before, with XRP having regulatory clarity in the US and other countries, I expect it's only a matter of time for this space to grow. Well, you better grow fast because a lot of players in the pool are saying that the ETF ain't going to do jack shite for the price. In fact, even more of you out there are saying, hey, gonna invest in some hamsters, parakeets, and toilet paper because there's a use case. I don't mind the XRP ETF. The problem I have with it, though, is again, this is all back about the speculative market. This isn't about using the product to move money. This is just about making money with the product. And you need more users, not just makers of the product. Speaking of users, did you know that 47% of you are subscribed, which means more than half of you are not subscribed. And it's free to hit the subscribe button, like button, if you like this kind of content. Now let's get on over to that XRP price talk, because like I said, we look at the last 7 days for XRP and we're overall in the green. This is good. Did the XRP ETF news moon us? No. Were there a lot of channels out there telling us, oh my God, we're going to go to $1. We're going to go. No, 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 and no. If Torres ain't going to do it, then the moon news ain't. Now, one thing I wanted to share with you is this. Look at this candlestick right here. This is the ETF news, okay? We've erased about half of that action, okay? Now, watch what happens when I show you the Torres action, okay? It's like the same frickin' thing, everyone. When we get the Torres news, look at that. We erased about half of it. So is that the deal? We're going to get these pumps on XRP, but each time we get a pump, there's going to be profit taking to the half on the upside? Because if that's the case and that's the trend, well, you could set your targets there pretty accurately, couldn't you? Now, the volume did help out yesterday in terms of that ETF. Yes, we did get some juicy volume from it, but now we're looking at it going, okay, cool. We know some rate cuts are coming, potentially a 50 basis point rate cut. ETFs probably on the way once they convert the trusts, but we still come back to that whole idea of use case and adoption. And how long is that going to take? How cheap does the price of XRP have to be for banks and institutions to use it? Or are banks and institutions not going to use it to move money because they're using stable coins like RLUSD because there would be no slippage? Now, Jeremy Allaire is telling us that guess what? We don't have to have a CBDC because stable coins can do everything we need with our money that we would like. And Ripple's getting into those stable coins with RLUSD. So this ETF news, is it good for Ripple? Is it good for XRP holders? Is it good for Ripple private shareholders? Well, it definitely was good for XRP holders. Not the biggest amount, but it was definitely good. Is this going to bring use case and adoption? No, ETFs don't do that. ETFs don't bring use case and adoption. It just brings more speculative money. And right now, that's what XRP is, a big bubble of speculative money. Caffeine, Yohimbe, electrolytes, and creatine. I'm going to be sweating my balls off today. But it's true. XRP right now is a massive speculative bubble. you're not seeing the adoption and the use cases like everyone was hoping for. Now, has that speculation bubble been juicy? Yes, at times it has. But it's still based on speculation. It's kind of like the oil market years ago. Oil market years ago was hot, hot, hot. Oil was going up to like $150 a barrel. Not because people were using it. Not because construction companies were like, yo, we need to buy oil because we're going to start making some stuff. No. It was because the speculators got in, were using a lot of leverage and driving the price up. And then when people realized that the market was speculation, it shrank almost instantly and got back to its appropriate size, which was dictated by its use cases and adoption. See, the speculative market is just that. Without use cases, we're all just guessing on stuff. We're all just speculating on price. Meanwhile, ETFs get launched. We get a little bit more clarity from the courts here, and we're still waiting for that use case. So yes, toilet paper is used by everyone, and no, XRP is not used by everyone. In fact, I challenge you to this. Comment down below if you use XRP for something other than investing. Do you use it to move money? Do you use XRP to pay for things? What's the utility that you use it for, or are you a speculator like the rest? Comment down below and let me know. Now, I got some training to do this weekend, a big one. I got a 3-hour run on Sunday, Saturday with a 1-hour run on Sunday at the same pace. I've also got to lose a few pounds because if I'm going to be racing here in about 7 weeks, got to get it together. So that's what I'm doing today. As always, choo-choo bitches.